This is one of the best-selling cars of the world, the Toyota Corolla. For the year 2023, the compact Japanese car, which is sold worldwide, gets an update. We see minor changes at the exterior, but there is a significant update for the hybrid powertrain and for the driving assistance. We will have a look, we will have a test drive, and I hope you join me. My name is Bernd, I'm from Germany. This is the Toyota Corolla from the Japanese brand, and the cars for Europe are built in the UK. So welcome at Global Car TV here at Asia Auto Ambassador. Have you ever driven or owned a Toyota Corolla? There's a high chance, isn't it? More than 50 million vehicles with the Corolla badge have been built and sold so far. It all started back in the 1960s. This is the 12th generation Toyota Corolla, and at the moment Toyota is building the car at 15 manufacturing facilities all over the world. There is one in the US, of course, there's one in China, Japan, of course. The cars for Europe do come out of a facility in the UK, and there are many more plants building the Corolla. Now there's a slight update for the latest Corolla generation, and if you are a fan of the brand or the model, you might see the changes at the front. There's a new grille insert and some new design here at the fog lamps. Also the LED headlamps get a slight revised design. However, adaptive LED functions, so-called matrix LED lights, are here in Europe at least only available for the top spec trim level. As said in the introduction, I'm from Germany and we have the chance to test drive this vehicle in the European spec version. You see the Belgian number plates. The Corolla is sold in 4 body styles. There is, well, the Corolla Cross, the latest body style, which is the SUV version. That's a separate model. And then we have the sedan version that is no longer sold in European markets. So we can't show you the sedan version today, which is quite popular, of course, in markets such as China. And here in Europe we have the classic 5-door hatchback and the Touring Sports called station wagon or sedan model. The Touring Sports is slightly longer than the hatchback. This car measures 4.65 meters in length, and the wheelbase has been extended compared to the hatchback from 2.64 meters up to 2.70 meters. So that means 6 centimeters more wheelbase. So what's new apart from these minor changes at the front? We have some news in the interior, we talk about that later, but the major news for the 2023 or 2024 Corolla is the updated hybrid powertrain. There are 2 hybrid versions available, the 1.8 liter hybrid and the 2 liter hybrid. This is already known, and both get a power boost. The smaller, so the 1.8 liter hybrid, goes up to 140 horsepower system power output, and here we've got the 2 liter hybrid version that goes up from 184 up to 196 horsepower. The petrol engines are more or less untouched, but the additional power comes from a revised electric motor and a new setup for the powertrain. But yeah, in a nutshell, you can say the electric motor brings more power to the hybrid system. The CVT transmission has been revised, so that means the engine noise shall be reduced. Also when you drive on a highway, a motorway for example, and when you accelerate. And the energy consumption shall be lower. There are new battery packs underneath the rear seats. It's a lithium-ion battery pack, and the weight of the battery is, according to Toyota, reduced by 18 kilograms. So they achieved that by a lot of technical changes, foils with printed cables instead of physical cables, for example. And the car should be a bit more agile and, as said, more energy efficient. We will of course check this out, but first we have a look at our test car here. It carries the GR Sport called dynamic trim level. As you know, GR Gazoo Racing is the pair of letters for the sportive Toyota vehicles such as the Supra, the GR86, and in the US, lucky you if you're watching from the US, you have the GR Corolla. We don't get it in Europe, so we stick with the also fun-making GR Yaris. Here at the rear we have, with the GR Sport trim level, a revised lower section of the bumper as well. One of the big advantages of the touring sports compared to the hatchback is the boot capacity of 581 liters, and you can of course fold down the backrest of the rear seats. You can also fold them down here from the boot. There's a protective net and a boot cover, so that's all quite nicely done. And also you can change the surface here of the removable floor. For example, you have your hiking stuff or wet sports clothes, whatever, or dog. You can easily wash this, and if you go to the office or you drive to your holiday destination, you can just change it to a fabric surface. There is a towing capacity, of course, which is quite limited. That's the case with most hybrid cars, such as the Toyota Corolla. The towing capacity is only 750 kilograms, so that means it's not enough for caravanning, for example. Let's start our interior check. There is not really a lot of room here in the second row of the Toyota Corolla. I mentioned that the Touring Sport has got a longer wheelbase, 6 centimeters more room for the rear seat occupants. However, with my size at least, I'm 1 meter 92 centimeters, which is 6.3. There's just not enough knee room. I adjusted the driver's seat into my individual seating position, and also there's not enough headroom under the declining roofline. The bench itself, or the seats themselves, are quite comfortable. It's a nice seating position, and we've got an armrest with 2 cup holders. We've got a nice artificial leather and fabric upholstery with red contrast stitching here in the GR Sport model, and of course you can easily place an Isofix kit seats here in the second row, so that is also very important for family cars such as the Toyota Corolla. And you see black fabric here as well at the roof. That's also part of the GR Sport trim level. Let's have a look into the cockpit. Part of the GR Sport trim level are front sport seats, and they look quite sportive, and also they are quite comfortable. The headrest is adjustable in terms of its height, and of course the steering wheel also you can adjust in both ways, so it's easy to find a comfortable seating position. The latest update brings more displays into the Toyota Corolla. You see a 12.3 inches display for the instruments behind the unchanged steering wheel. You can configure different layouts, and of course you can configure what you want to see there. And for example, you have driving assistance, sat-nav information, and so on. That can all be shown here. It's quite nice. In the higher trim levels, there's a 10.5 inches infotainment display, the sat-nav, and things like the voice control, for example, have an online connection. And at least in Germany, you get a free access to the cloud data for 4 years after you bought the car, and after that period you have to start a subscription for these services. The touchscreen does have physical buttons for the audio volume, but all the rest is virtual. Here, for example, you can browse the web. This is the energy flow information. The telephone can of course be connected by Bluetooth or Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The air condition's got a separate element here with physical buttons. It's quite easy to activate and deactivate. The smartphone can be charged wirelessly. You have seat heating for the front seats in high and low level. And here you've got a small button to change the drive modes. We've got Eco, Sport and Normal as drive modes, and you can also activate an EV mode for short distances with the electric motor only. There's a head-up display as well, depending on the trim level, and the head-up display brings its information directly on the windscreen, which is quite nice. In the GR Sport version, we do have a special engine start button with the GR logo. And I would say now it's time for the test drive. We start by pushing the gear shifter from P to D into the drive position and start our drive. We are on the motorway and Teammate is on board. Teammate is the name for the driving assistance systems in the Toyota range, and we activated the driving assist. So that means we have an adaptive cruise control. So the speed and the distance to the cars in front of us is controlled by the car, as well as the lane keeping. And this has been adjusted slightly for the update. Means that when we come closer to a slower car in front of us, the braking function is smoother than it has been. And also if or when we have the route guidance on, which we do have now, the powertrain also gets information, for example, about curves in advance or downhill driving, so that the energy system and the recuperation of energy can be adjusted accordingly, as well as the lane keeping assist, which works a little bit more natural than it used to be in the past. So slight revisions, but indeed the car feels a little bit more grown up with these slight revisions. The increased power brings a better acceleration from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 7.5 seconds. That means it's half a second quicker than the predecessor, and the top speed is still limited to 180 kilometers per hour. This was my first test drive in the updated Toyota Corolla Hybrid. Thank you very much for watching. What's my conclusion, my resume? The car got a nice update in terms of powertrain. The engine noise has been reduced. The car feels more grown up. The driving assistants are also far more advanced than the one they used before. The fuel consumption, by the way, during our test drive, so we had the car for one day, is 5.5 liters per 100 kilometers according to the trip computer. This is quite fair. We also had some stints on the speed limited motorway, and of course did also some inner city driving with a lot of energy recuperation. Let's talk about prices. As mentioned, I'm from Germany. I can tell you the German prices, and the Corolla had a significant price increase with the update. The base model, that means the hatchback 1.8 hybrid with the base trim level, starts at a bit more than 33,000 euros. Our test car here as the Touring Sports GR Sport starts at just below 40k euros, and we have the metallic paint here and some options. So this test car has a list price of 42,000 euros. Not cheap, of course, but with these prices, the Corolla is on the same level such as competitors like the Volkswagen Golf, the Opel Astra, Vauxhall Astra in the UK. And in terms of hybrid compacts, you still have the Honda Civic on the market, bit more grown up, almost a mid-size vehicle. But I would say this the Civic is the strongest competitor to the Corolla, offers more space in the interior. So this is really the downside of the Corolla, the leg space, for example, in the second row. And it's also well equipped and quite fuel efficient with its hybrid powertrain as well. So maybe you have the chance to test drive both of them and then you make the comparison. And then you can let me know what would be your favorite hybrid car or your favorite compact car. I look forward to your comments, will read them all and reply to most of them. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. This will help to increase our reach and our audience. See you next time here at Asia Auto Ambassador. Bye bye.